Hello everyone, Cheek here with another Transformers review, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Legacy United Cannonball, which is another one of the Star Raiders, but could also very easily be Transformers Cybertron Cannonball, and he looks pretty good. I am almost 100% certain, but I can't be quite 100% certain because sometimes Hasbro does not make the most sense what they do. But I would not be surprised if in 2025 we end up seeing a repaint of this mold as Legacy. Well, it wouldn't be Legacy, whatever the new name's going to be, but it will be a repaint to be Cybertron Universe Red Alert. If not, well, oh well. I guess they are just being a little silly. So, a Legacy United Cannonball appears to be, at least in my observation, a heavy remold, retooling of Autobot skids. I think it's quite silly that they did that to a degree, because on the original Cybertron Cannonball, this was kind of the interior of the vehicle mode. It wasn't really the front of the car. It was hidden up, and then the front of the car was down here. But based on how he transforms, it just reminds me so much of skids. I will say I do appreciate the little plastic piece that goes on here to give the impression of his actual head. The only downside is that I don't like the molded in plastic thing on the back of his head to fill in that gap, as it really looks odd. But I will say though, at the very least, they did get this pretty nice for his face. It's pretty accurate to Cannonball. I did have Cannonball. I was kind of upset. My brother had Red Alert, but I ended up getting Cannonball at some point growing up, but I just didn't like it as much. I didn't think he was as cool as Red Alert, because he was a bad guy, so that's part of it. He does come with pretty much the same accessories as Cannonball / Red Alert, the originals, but the main drawback is that, well, the claw is not articulated. It's just a solid piece of plastic. It does attach the same way, just by going on the end of this, but this one is much shorter than the original one. But hey, who am I to judge too much, because it would get in the way otherwise for transformation. But it does plug on much the same way. I think also the Black Earth planet, Cyber Planet key is also pretty cool, because it does have these little launchers, which, if I remember right, did spring out just a little bit on the original Cannonball / Red Alert. But I don't know if it's the exact same correct placement or not, but it was these little things. Obviously, you can't really do much with them, but you can press them down a little bit to make them, I guess, look like they're ready to launch out. I really don't know, but it is something that they did. I do think that for Cannonball, having the hammer makes a little bit more sense, partly because of one of the Star Raiders already has a hook. I mean, a proper hook, not just a little claw hand, but he has a hook, lockdown. And then also, for comparison, Road Pig, and then the leader, Thundertron and Ferric, for comparison. And of course, since he is deluxe, he is significantly smaller. Okay, so let's see. Articulation, I guess. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Has a ball joint for the head. He can look up and down. Gets not really much wiggly wobbly. Can do a full 360. Arms go out that far. Can do a full 360 bicep rotation. 9-degree bend at the elbow. There is a wrist rotation. The gun hand also does rotate because it is on a mushroom peg. Waist rotation. Can kick forward that far, back about that far, has about 9-degree bend at the knee, thigh rotation. He can almost do the full splits. Yeah, I think I already did 9-degree bend at the knee, and then he does have ankle tiltage. One big thing that I'm sure a lot of people probably have noticed, I don't know if it's the same gold plastic used in the past, but I will say it does give me a little bit of trepidation, because I'm concerned that if I hold on to this guy for like 10, 15, 20 years, will all these goldish plastic pieces just be crumbling to pieces? Like, is that what's going to happen? Did they sabotage Cannonball? Did they do this? Don't know, but we'll see. in the long term, if I even still have this channel in 15-20 years. We'll see. We will see what happens with that. You can store these, and it also showed that, hey, you can store these on him in his vehicle mode outside of the robot mode, but I'm like, why do that when you can perfectly just store them in his legs? Just slide on in, slide on in, and they just sit in there all nice and neat. And I will admit, it can be a little tricky to get them out at times, but if you're having trouble, just flip down the shins and then you should be able to get them out of there, no problem. So here we have Cannonball in his vehicle mode. I will admit he is quite tricky. For whatever reason, my copy doesn't seem to want to stay in vehicle mode. It's like I get him mostly there, but then he just doesn't want to clip quite together and it just pops loose. I don't know exactly why that is, but it still holds together well enough for his vehicle mode. It's not identical to the original. It does have some differences. Mostly the main difference is that instead of it being the skull being on the top, it's on the sides of the doors, and there's a little bit less going on with the design there. But still pretty cool nonetheless. Cannonball is a bit of a mixed bag. I will say that I was really looking forward to him, mainly because of childhood memories, but I will say the mold is not the greatest, and it, like I said, instead of reusing the old Cybertron mold or redoing it slightly, they decide to just, hey, let's do skids. Let's just use skids and just change it up a bit so that, I know that's not exactly Cybertron. It doesn't even say Cybertron Universe, so it doesn't really matter that much because it is just Legacy United, Star Raider, Cannonball. So it doesn't matter too much in that regard, but it does bug me just a little bit. So that's about it for Transformers Legacy United Cannonball. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. And until next time, have a good one, everyone.